So Fields has been built, and I'll just introduce you quickly to myself, by me and some friends, and also some people that we have hired at the start of the company. I have a more boring background because I was working in M&A, then in strategic consulting, and I decided to stop that after 6 years to go to something that I really wanted to do for long, is building a software product, and specifically in the consumer space. And it came at a very specific point in time in my life. 4 years ago is when I started Fields. 4 years ago is when I got my first daughter. And since then, I have built what you will see now about Fields, but I have also a family with 3 kids. And all I have been thinking from the beginning is that my kids will for sure meet online in the future. If it's not their partner for life, they will anyway, in some way, connect with new people that they have met through any ways. It can be a Discord for kids playing games. It can be dating apps. It can be social networks. But they will meet, and I want based on my experience, I want to build something where I feel they can have an entertaining experience, a safe experience. And this is how I started Fields, asking 2 of my best friends to join me, and that had also complementary experiences. And this is how it started. And yes, same observation as David. I think for the past 10 years, we have seen pretty much a lot of the same, and basically based on this swipe and left or right feature. And interestingly, the first thing we did is we asked users from our generation. I'm from millennial generation, and the new generation, so 18 to 25, maybe today, to this point. And interestingly, rating the same kind of product, the new generation was more dissatisfied with this product. And I think it's just a matter of how dating apps have evolved with this kind of feature. Is going swipe right or left, or up or down. You will see that also based on our product, but gets you in the process of just a mechanical behavior of connecting and just moving people from a side to another. And this is not feeling good to them. And it's worse than what we knew in 2012 when Tinder was launched, and it was a bit fun in the way it was new, which is not the case anymore. But millennials got used to it. Gen Z is not that much used to it, especially they knew it only when the process got so much mechanical. So yes, swiping is boring. I think the whole experience of connecting people today is boring, and our response to that in terms of product. And I'm not saying we have the best product yet. I'm not saying this is going to be the product, but we are working towards this objective, that we can take an orthogonal approach to what exists on the market. And although we have been growing in France, I think we still have a lot of iteration to go for, and we have 2 centers of focus. One, content. I think the most important part that is still to be filled in this space is get people to share more content. You are fine sharing more content on social network. It's not an issue to share it also on dating app, and you have to share more videos. Videos give more content, more context for users about who they are, what they like, their hobbies, where they go, where they travel, etc. And that defines my digital identity. I don't think we can get rid of the digital identity on a dating app. That's also an hypothesis. And the second part, which is very complementary, is having shared experiences. I think we can gain so much of sharing something online with somebody. And we can, it's kind of like digitizing the first date that you could have in real life. If you share something with somebody, and you will see what kind of experiences we propose to our users, you have something to talk about that is not related to you or me as a person, but it's related to just what we're experiencing. Like in the festival, when you meet somebody, you talk about the musicians, the next one coming, the place where you got the food, etc. That's sharing an experience, and it's on the app. So you see here Rihanna, maybe one day, but not for now. For now, we have a comedy show, a comedy club that is happening once in a week. That's happening at the center of the users. Then you can see all the users at the same time that are connected around you. You can see how far they are, and you are here identified as a circle also. And basically, when you comment on the experience that you are having, you can interact with each other and get connected this way. So it's really about the experience instead of the only the profile. But we also obviously have the profiles. It looks a bit like TikTok. We try to make it the less looking like I like it or I don't like it. So you can also scroll up a profile without necessarily taking a decision. 85% of our users have at least one video. That's maybe on the profile what makes it very different. And when they have a video, they put 3 on average. So when you go and discover a profile on Fields, you take a bit more time because you have more content, and the content is really accessible very easily and immersive. So you can react to something specific on what people share. At the end, the idea is once you get on the app, your experience is so much more immersive, and you get to know so much more people after a few exchanges, that when you get back to an app like Tinder that has this swipe and right feature, you might at the end decide to actually stay on Fields. That's the ambition. We are not there yet. I mean, we have been building quite a good community in France, especially since we launched a version in April 2021, 2 years ago. And the first 2 years, by the way, were just a pure desert of no money, only people working on the product and iterating on hundreds of directions. But then we managed to take it off. So we have by now more like 2.5 million accumulated downloads, and we make more than 2.5 million in ARR, mostly in France and neighboring countries. So that's it. It was a short presentation. I hope it gave a good understanding of who we are.
Thank you, Daniel. That was great. I've got a question for you. And please, if our audience, if you've got any questions or observations, please put them into the comments, into the questions section, and we can vote them up, and I'll talk them through for you. So I wanted to ask you, how on earth did you get 85% of your users to post videos? That's amazing.
Well done. That's what took us 2 years actually to find out by iterating a lot on the onboarding. We just we started. We have a long onboarding. Like it's a commitment. It takes 15 minutes to do an average. We are fine losing people, but it's a positioning. Like once you are in there, everybody has done this effort, so everybody has a profile that is similar in terms of how it is built. And we were only getting 25% of the users through the end of the onboarding, from download to profile created at the beginning. And after 2 years of ups and downs, we managed to optimize it to 75%, which now with users coming back tends to go to 80%.
That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. I remember eHarmony, when they first started, they had 236 questions. Amazing. I mean, they must have lost a lot of people at the outset, but the thing is, if you go through 236 questions, you're probably going to cough up and spend some money and be committed to the entire process. So people were kind of curious for the feedback, and that was how they geared up for a $110 million raise, would you believe? They raised $110 million back in 2005. It's one of the first news items we had on Online Personals Watch, actually. Right, we've got a couple of more questions for you, Daniel. Devon Chu from Ming Out. How difficult or easy was it to ask users to upload a video as their first impression?
Um, so first of all, you've seen that our positioning on video, because you see a lot of video dating apps called video dating app that focus on like getting people on FaceTime somehow, like you're showing yourself directly live on video, which is not the case. It's asynchronous on field. So you post videos that you already have on your phone, or that you might want to take. So it was very hard to find the right way to get people to share a video, and maybe without going into the very details, at the beginning we had only 15% of them sharing a video, and then I mean you can download the app and see what we have done, but you probably won't see what exactly is a trigger to get to the 85% of users putting at least one video, which is what we keep for now as our own secret sauce.
Yeah, good. Totally respect that. No worries. So Peter Christopher, who is CEO founder of Together Light and Anastasia, Jesus, does not say that. Christian Filipina.com. Favorite sources of traffic? What do you, I assume TikTok, because I mean, if you've got people coming from Insta and TikTok, they're going to be video focused.
Yes, totally. It's a TikTok. We share the same feed experience when there is no event happening on the app. So it's very it's very easy to get TikTok users to understand directly how fields work. While when you get people that are a bit older and haven't really used TikTok, I mean, by now a lot of people are on TikTok, so it's easier. But it was very difficult to get people, because people are very much used to going left or right, and getting rid of people on the left and liking on the right, that it was much easier on TikTok. And anyway, the younger generation was on TikTok, is still on TikTok, and there is no better social network to target the younger generation.
Peter also asks, what actually Christoph Reisner, rather, from IdeaWise. What is your plan for the international rollout?
We are not in a hurry, in the sense that I think it's a long-term game what we are aiming for. So we are very focused on the product. I mean, my role is to be the CEO of Fields, but actually, what I do 50% of my time is analyzing every single iteration that you do on the product, and getting detailed feedback with the product team, so that we can make it each time better. And we are growing at a pace that allows us to do that in a profitable way, and without need of external cash. So for us, growing internationally will depend on our ability to raise more cash, which we are not in a hurry for. But my idea would be probably to go step by step, maybe European countries first, and then a bigger country like the US at a later stage. So not for now, and I think we still have a lot of work to do on the product.
Are you waitlisting people? So when they come through from a country or region that you're not currently serving, do you waitlist them?
We don't waitlist. No, the app is open in most countries.
Mm-hmm.
There is we don't have a strategy on waitlisting. We tried it, to be honest. This is a market that relies a lot on also an acquisition to start with. So whether you have a waitlist or not, you need to have the financial power to get started, at least for the first months with an S/year. And the bigger the market, the bigger financial power you need. So the waitlist for us is more like
for you in
something
France,
that would be tried.
where would you say is your next big market? Where do you think you'll get to critical mass? And beyond?
It's not set to speak very freely about that. I think the UK market is very has a lot of competition. It's
Yeah.
like where all American apps and all European apps meet. You could do a dating app for dating apps, I think, in London. But um, um, another big European market will be Germany. I think Germany is very specific also. I'm married to a German woman. I've worked 6 years in Germany, but so what works in France might not work in Germany, and I think also we see it in different kind of players there. So I'm a bit also looking at it with a bit of hesitation. So I don't know yet. And the US is much bigger. So I think prove first to be strong in Europe before going to the US is a wiser strategy, especially that the product will have more time to be where it should.
And Jens Kamera, who is the CEO founder of Jamo, says, Daniel, how do you keep users engaged?
I don't think my job is to keep users engaged. I think maybe I'm wrong, but that's my understanding of the business is we need to get them into we need to spark connections, and once I spark a connection, I'd rather have the person leave the app, because it's natural that once you want to develop a relationship, whatever kind of relationship, then you exchange the phone numbers, you exchange an Instagram account, you exchange whatever, and then that you meet in real life, that you have a coffee, then you go to the bar, then you go to a restaurant, whatever. But it's a natural process, and paradoxically, if you look at the data, somebody that has actually exchanged a number with another user will have a higher retention, monthly retention in the long term, if his daily retention is lower at his first usage. It means we will have made our job better in the first few days. He will have a conversation and will be happy with the app, and will have more chances to come back in the future. So my way to get them engaged is to get them into conversation as fast as possible, and having a good time doing it, because that's what makes them come back to fields.
A little bit counterintuitive, isn't it? But it's an indication. That's a very interesting observation. It reminded me of an observation that was made to me years ago by a fellow who was a data, what was his title? Data miner for a top 3 dating app. And he said one of the major indications that someone's about to quit is when they're quiet for a while and then they come back live. And we know then that's a high likelihood they're going to quit. So we've got to make sure we re-engage them. A little counterintuitive though. They're coming back live. They're going to quit. But yes, apparently, yeah. So Heather Doherty is from Data Evolution and asks, can you go into more examples of what you're doing or are planning to do around the shared experience as part of your vision?
So basically, it's a 30 minutes exclusive content that we give to users. Any kind of content. We are trying a lot. We haven't tried everything. Comedy club is an obvious one, because you get people to laugh together on some humorists they can share the same humor with. It can be a sports session, whether you want to participate or not. At least you have something to talk about. It can be your best content creator pushing something exclusively on fields for his community. So it will be community-led experiences where the community of a fan will all connect at the same time, and the single ones, the ones who want to meet new people, will actually be there together and be able to exchange, which they cannot be, because it's only one, it's only it's one direction communication with your content creator. So this is what we allow on Fields. Any community that have a shared interest to have through a 30 minutes live video on the app, be able to exchange and communicate about this content.
Great. All right. Thank you. Moses runs Plans. Moses Brown. He runs Plans. Actually, he's also for many years run onlinebootycall.com, by the way. Daniel, is the goal of your app to keep users engaged on the app or actually to meet in person?
It's really at the end to meet in person, but I think the right way to say it is to get rid of the first IRL meeting that is so frustrating, because end up knowing after 5 minutes that it was not the right person, that you have spent so much time talking about nonsense to get this meeting happen, and then there is nothing, there is no connection. What we aim to is that you get this connection before you actually meet in real life, because you have shared something, and we give this immersive experience so that it doesn't take you more time actually to get to know the person. It's just because you have more content, you have more stuff to talk about, that you actually maximize these moments where you get to know the people. So no, I don't want to keep people. This is a business based on acquisition. If I'm good in acquisition, if I'm doing my job good, I will monetize better. And if I do these two things, I can reinvest to get more people. So I don't need them to stay. It's very transactional in the end.